Hello students, a very good morning. So students, we were discussing our chapter, we were revising our chapter ray optics in the last class also. So let's start our revision today with the same topic that we were just left there. So we were discussing in the last class that was sign convention and also the refraction at spherical surfaces. So let's see the formula to just find out the reflection at spherical surfaces there. Now as for the ray diagram, if I will draw it, then this is again I told you, as this is a spherical surface, then that will have obviously some center. So for example, let's see C is the center of this one, and now this point, that is the middle point of this, where the principal axis and this one is meeting, that is called pole here. Now distance between pole and this center of we are also calling center of the spherical surface, that is denoted by R, and that is radius of curvature of this spherical surface. Now next one thing, we can draw the normal from this one on this. So this is now suppose this point also you can, this is end as, this is point N here. So this Cn is the normal drawn on this spherical surface. Now if any point object here, point object means that don't have any size, that don't have any shape. So we are taking the object here just like the point. Now this point object is kept on this principal axis. Now the light will fall from here to this spherical surface, and obviously it will refract from here in the another media. Now as this is the first media, for example, let us suppose this has N1 as refractive index and this one is N2 refractive index. Now this point on this one principal axis here, this will meet, that will make the image of this object. So this is very simple ray diagram that we will use to find out the object or image distance if we know, we have the information about this whole system. Now N1, N2 if you know, or if you know radius of curvature, also the object that we will keep from here to here, if we know that, then the image where it will be formed we can easily calculate. Now as you know, this is the image distance V from here. So let's take here, this is I, obviously this is O, this is P point. Now what we will do in this case, let's draw a normal from here. Now this give the name to this M. So as we are calling this spherical surface as the aperture, if this aperture is very small, then we can say take this P and M point as the coinciding point from here. So now let us take this one, I am just making it by the some solid line, sorry for that one. Now you can see you have different triangles now on this diagram. First triangle we can see, that is triangle NOM from here. The second triangle you can see, that is triangle NIM. So this is triangle NIM. Now the third triangle here, NCM. We will take the help of these three triangles now this time. So in these three triangles we can find out the values of tan theta. So just for calculating that value I have drawn normal here, so that we can easily use the geometrical formulas here to find out the relationship between U, V and R. So write this into here. Now in triangle NOM, in this triangle, if tan value of tan, this angle NOM, if you will write this one, then this will be the perpendicular, this will be the base for that one. So perpendicular will be NM, base will be OM from here. Next one for the second case, that is in triangle NIM, the angle between this one, that is angle NIM. The tan, if you will calculate again, it will be perpendicular upon base. So perpendicular is NM, base is now M into I. Now in the third one, that is the triangle NCM. In this triangle again we will calculate tan angle of NCM. So that will have again the perpendicular upon base, that is NM upon CM from here. So this is again NM upon CM from here. Now one more assumption while solving the topic in the case of geometrical optics we will take, that is the angles here will be very small. So whenever you know the angles are very small, then trigonometrical functions that will have the same value as the angle, just like tan theta, or that can be equal to sin theta, as well as that will be equal to theta. So it means we can replace this tan angle NOM is equal to only angle NOM. So you can remove tan theta from here by using this assumption. So I am just removing it here. So later I will tell you what is the use of this one. Now here for the refraction we have one law, that is the Snell's law. So we will use the Snell's law. So according to Snell's law, as we have formula sin I upon sin R, that is equal to 1 mu 2 or also mu 2 upon mu 1. As here refractive index I have written in the terms of n. So let's write it like n2 upon n1. So we have to use this formula. We can have the now relationship between u, v and r easily. So sin I, where we will get it, as you can see, this is the normal that we have drawn. So here this is I is the now angle of incidence. The second one, the angle between refracted ray and the normal, that you know, this is the angle of refraction. So now we can use this relationship easily. So first of all we have to find out the value of I. So from here you can calculate the value of this angle I again by using geometry. So as if you will see, now the triangle NOC, this triangle, I am talking about this one, this is now NOC, this triangle. So this is, in this triangle, as you can see, I is the exterior angle of this triangle. So we can use the concept of exterior angle, that is equal to the sum of two opposite angles of the triangle here, or two opposite interior angle exactly. Now the opposite interior angle, this angle and this angle we have. So this angle I will be equal to angle NOM plus angle here NCM. So these are now the two angles. It will be equal to the sum of now these two. And we have the value of angle NOM or NCM. Now this is the use of the angles that we have written before. So here angle NOM, this value will be finally NM upon OM plus angle NCM will have value angle NM upon CM from here. So this is now the value of I. Similarly, we can find out the value of R also. So when for finding out the value of R, again let's use the here formula, just triangle, that is this one triangle. Here NIC. In this triangle, if this angle you will see, this angle is exterior angle for the triangle NIC. So again you can use the exterior angle concept in which R will be included automatically. So let me write just here. So we can write now angle NCM. This angle, this will be equal to sum of two interior angles that are opposite. So first one angle is angle R. The second angle is this angle, that is angle NIM. And as we have value of NIM and NCM, we can find out the value of R from here. So value of R will be equal to angle NCM minus of angle NIM. Let's use the values now here. So if you will use the value, that will NM upon CM, now minus here NM upon MI. So this is now the value of R, this one is value of I. Let's use now this formula. So to use this formula, first of all, let's multiply N1 here, let's multiply N2 here. Also you can just leave it in this manner also. So this will be N1 sine of I, or that is equal to N2 sine of R from here. Now as we have taken the assumption of a small angle, so for the small angle obviously we can replace sine I by I. So we can write it Ni into N1 into I, that will be equal to N2 into R, sine R will be equal to R. Now we can use this angle R and angle I. Let's use the values here. I that was equal to Nm upon Om plus Nm upon Cm. Now this angle R is equal to Nm upon Cm minus of Nm upon Mi from here. So now let's take Nm as common from here, both sides, that will be cancelled out, and after that one we can write the next line, that is N1, and this will be 1 upon Om plus 1 upon Cm. Now that will be equal to this N2 1 upon Cm minus 1 upon Mi from here. Now in the next line we can take 1 upon Cm this side and 1 upon Mi this side. So let's rearrange the equation now. So if you will rearrange it, then it is obtained as N1 upon Om, then plus N2 upon Mi, that is equal to now N2 upon Cm minus of N1 upon Cm from here. Now as you can see this figure again, in this figure the value of Om is the object distance from the pole, or also we can write OP, that will be equal to OM, because in the starting we have taken assumption that aperture is very small. So P and M both points are coinciding points. So whether we will measure the distance from P or M, that will be same. So this is object distance U. Similarly Mi, that is the image distance. Cm is the radius of curvature. Now let's use sign convention also. According to sign convention, all the values in right side measured from the pole, that will be taken as positive, and other all values that will be taken from the left side, that will be taken as negative. So let's put the values here. In the first one, Om is the object distance as in the left side, this will be minus U. Now N2 upon Mi is in right side, and this has value V. Next one, 1 upon Cm you can take as common, that is also in right side, and that has value equal to radius of curvature R. So this is R. In bracket it will be N2 minus N1. Now if you can take also or we can rearrange this equation, N2 upon V minus N1 upon U, this is equal to N2 minus N1 upon R. Now this formula is used to find out the refraction at a spherical surface or the distance of the image whenever any object is kept, point object is exactly kept at the principal axis in front of any of the spherical surface. You can take in the place of this spherical surface I have taken here, that is the convex spherical surface. You can also take concave spherical surface for your convenience. And in both cases I will tell you the result will be same here. There will be no change in the result. Now after this, the next topic here, if you will take, that is the topic of transverse magnification. So just now in the case here, let's see what is now the transverse magnification. So to find out the transverse magnification, first we will consider a ray that will incident from an extended object now that will have some of the height, and at the optical center, and we can see the angle of incidence as theta and the angle of refraction as phi. So let us just make the figure by using this concept. So if you have again some of this type of spherical surface, and now at this spherical surface, if some extended object you have, this kind of object that has some object height here. So this is the object point and this is the height of the object HO. Now one ray that will pass through its center. So as you know, the ray that will pass through the center, that will not deflect, that will go without any kind of refraction here. So it will have the same value. This will give us the just image of this one. Again you can also just take one ray that is coming from the optical center. Sorry for that, this one. Let me construct it again. This will meet here. Now you can see at this point where number of waves are reaching or meeting, that is the point of image. So this is now the image point here, and we can see this point is I. And so for example, let's take the height of this image, that is, or extension of the image is hi from here. Now in this one, as the angle of incidence that we have taken as theta, angle of refraction we have taken as now phi, and the media between these two, that is N2 N1 media, or this is now the N2 media. So let's apply Snell's law here. So if you will apply Snell's law, according to that one, you will get N1 sine of theta, that will be equal to N2 sine of phi from here. First of all, you can get. Now the next one, as for the small angle, you will see this theta or phi or sine theta or phi can be written as just only theta and phi. So it will be equal to N1 theta, that is equal to now N2 of phi from here. Now in the next line again you can put the values of this theta and phi in the terms of tan, and now easily you can calculate the value of theta and phi from here. So if you will calculate this tan theta in this triangle, that is this one, in this triangle tan theta has value perpendicular upon base, so perpendicular is HO, and as the distance is in upward direction, it will be taken as positive, so it will have the positive value. Now upon O, suppose this point is N point, so ON, so you know the point here, that is pole, and the distance from here to here, that is object distance. So that object distance, if that is U and that is in the left side, so it will be taken as negative. So it will be now value N1 theta will have value minus H upon U, because here minus U we will have, so minus sign I have written here. Now in right side, that is again tan phi. So you can take this triangle now here. In this triangle, tan phi will be perpendicular upon base, again perpendicular is HI, and now base we have, that is obviously Ni, that is the image distance. So image distance is in right side, so that will be positive, but you can see this NHI, that is inverted, and this is the negative y direction or downward direction. As I told you, if any image will be in inverted form, that will be taken as negative. So that's height is taken as negative, that is minus HI, but upon this will be positive value of V from it. Now minus sign will be cancelled from both of them, and from here you can calculate the value of HO upon HI. So HO upon HI, this value will be U by V into N2 upon N1 from here. So this is now the value of here just magnification or magnified image. Exactly what is that here? If suppose any object we have kept at this principal axis that has height h0, after passing through any spherical surface, how much reduction or increment will be in the height of the object. So whether the height is increasing or reducing, that we can find out by using transverse magnification. So it means we are comparing the heights of object and heights of image, or height of image from the height of object. So transverse magnification is defined in the terms of image height to the just object height, and that is given by some small m. We can find out this value by HI upon HO. A reciprocal of this formula, so this will be V by U into N1 upon N2. So this is now the value of transverse magnification. So that is, I think, now clear. Next one, in the next topic here, that is the topic of lens. After this whole discussion, let's start our discussion on the lens, and after that we will see 2 or 3 formulas on the lens also, and in classes you have seen already. As we are revising some of the things, I can leave here, I think, some basics. Now lens, as you know, lenses are just like they are transparent medium bounded by two spherical surfaces. Now up to now you have seen only one spherical surface, but if we have now the two spherical surface, then different kinds of lenses can be formed. So the formation of lens, I have told you in classes, like if two refracting surfaces are kept in such a manner, we can have biconvex lens, biconcave lens, concavo-convex lens, or convexo-concave lens, also plano-convex, plano-concave lens, in such a manner. And now again, as every spherical surface has focus, so we will have two foci in this case of the biconvex lens or biconcave lens, both cases. Now next one, converging and diverging property of lenses. So as you know, the convex lens that starts to, or convex surface start to converge the lights at a single point, that is called focus. So that's why they are calling converging lens. And concave surfaces has the nature to diverge the light, so they are calling as diverging lenses. Now next, some definitions that is related to the lenses, like optical center. So this is all I have told you, but again if you then we can say, now the optical center is a point that is lying on the principal axis of the lens, directed to which incident ray passes without any kind of deviation in the path. Means if they will pass through the optical center, then they will go without any kind of deflection from there. Next one, center of curvature. So the aperture we have used, that is the center that will have obviously center of curvature, because they are the part of the sphere, so that will have some centers. So here if two surfaces you will have, then two centers you will have always, and also you will have two radius of curvatures. Next one, principal axis, principal focal point, two foci, focal length, all that definitions we have discussed before. Now students, after this, the topic that we will discuss, this is now the lens formula. So let's see here lens formula first in this class, and the rest of the formula we will see in next class. So in the lens formula, as this is the relationship between simple focal length, image distance, and object distance, just like the mirror formula. 1 by v is equal, 1 by f is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by v. We can get also in the cases of lens this formula. So let's see how can we find out. For that one, we can suppose I am taking the example of convex lens here. This is our convex lens. Now in this convex lens, suppose before this one some object is kept that has some height. Now light will pass through this object or light will fall on the lens. So for convenience, let me just draw it. Some light is now incident at this point, After this one, it will pass through the focus, and now obviously it will go beyond this one. Now from there, light will go and this will meet at some point. The point where these two rays are meeting, that is the point of image now. So this is now our P, this is O point, this is suppose N point, this is our just focal point that we can call that F also, and this is suppose O dash, this is now I dash. So this one is, I think, first of all clear. And now obviously the distance of P from O, that is the object distance. The distance of I from P, that is the image distance. Now light is, as ray diagram, whenever you are making, you have to just keep this factor also in your mind. From where to where ray is going, you have to show it by these arrows. So these are very important sections in the case of ray diagram, or whether you are just making any kind of diagrams. Then the direction, if that is the important thing, then you have to predict the direction. So one ray is falling perpendicular to the principal axis, then as you know, it has property to pass through the focus. It will pass through focal point. Now the second ray that is passing through this pole, that will go without any kind of deflection. I think I have done some mistakes here while making this one, but here this would be the straight line that will pass through here. So in this straight line, wherever they will meet, that will form the image for this. So student, for the formula for the thin lenses, that I will tell you in next class. Here only I have told you just some introduction about the thin formula. In next class, let's see how can we formulate the lens formula first of all, and then we will start to see the lens maker formula. So let's end our class here with this discussion. Thank you, students.